Hello and welcome to another episode of CryptoCrew.
That's right, man.
That's right. Where we go again?
We told you we
Coming
would
at
be back.
Again. Coming at you again.
We think we have our technical difficulties out of the way. We're going to go through with the show anyway. We'll just kill it if it doesn't. So.
Excellent. Okay.
Anyway, we'll just move right along. This morning we did a little review earlier about cryptocurrency and what's been happening lately. Any of you guys want to jump in and kind of bring us up to date with where we were in the last 2 weeks? Went to a big high.
Well, it's a never-ending story.
It is a never-ending story. Where do you start and go forward?
It's just going from one chapter to the next, man. And you
These
just
are the
don't
previews
know.
from last week's episode.
It's always something. It's a war. It's a
disruption.
Yeah, it's a disruption.
Yeah.
Of how can I say of
two worlds.
Yeah, it's huge, man, and we don't know when it's going to settle, but the ground eventually's got to settle.
Yeah, it will settle.
And somebody will come out as a winner, and we'll be doing new and different things.
That's where money's made in disruptive markets. Everybody will tell you that. When something's kind of up and
shaking
down
your
and
tree.
shaking, that's when you have to insert yourself to take advantage of a new opportunity.
That's what it is, man. And sometimes growing pains hurt.
Yeah.
Or someone saying, "Well, you can't go down there. You can't have that anymore, and you're gonna have to start eating. You're gonna have to start eating vegetables." Well, if you've been eating donuts and all that kind of stuff, and then someone tell you can't eat donuts anymore, you're gonna have to start eating vegetables because it hasn't been in your diet. So it's what we said before. It's a paradigm, and that's the frustrating thing about this, because things that you used to be dependent on, you won't necessarily have to be dependent on as much anymore. That's like we watched a video I think a few weeks ago, when Barack Obama was saying, we can't have people walking around here being their own Swiss bank. So we can't.
well, you know what? That is exactly what you become, is being your own Swiss bank.
You become autonomous. You become autonomous. It's like having your own car.
Yeah,
man,
it gives you independence.
Man, you start going places that you've never would have gone on a certain time frame because you have the ability to do it.
Right.
Man. Instead of going straight, I got to get to the bus. Well, man, I'm going over to this store here. You know,
I got to get to the bus, but let me see. Is it going to be here a while?
You're on a time restraint. Yeah. But you got your own car, man. You can go over here. You can change your mind.
I would take the bus, but it doesn't go down that route.
Exactly.
So it limits you.
It limits you.
When you're dependent on
and
someone
there you
else.
go.
Exactly.
And what blockchain and what Bitcoin. And we've been a big advocate of blockchain. We just hadn't started talking about it. We almost
That's
not
about
getting
the
a
only
choice
thing
now.
we got in common with Jamie Dimon, isn't it?
It's blockchain, because he loves it. Yeah, he wants the blockchain.
Jamie Dimon, of course, being CEO or CFO of the
JP Morgan.
Stanley.
Morgan Stanley. They're all the same.
Yeah, they're all same
and
cut of cloth, aren't they?
Yeah, and so he's speaking the language that he's been trained to speak. And he's not going to change, because his stockholders and all those people that are involved with the banks are going to continue to talk and try to mystify Bitcoin as much as they
dark
can.
Money, it's involved
it's
in
bad.
crime. You know, cash, the U.S. dollar is probably, that currency has been used in
it's the most used for criminal
activities, you know?
And it's because it
doesn't make the money good or bad.
Well, the American dollar is the goal of
it's
dollars.
Just like money. Okay, it's just like money. Money in itself is not good or bad.
Right.
The Bible even teaches that the love of money is the root of all evil, not money.
The Bible never told you not to have any money.
No, the Bible thinks that you should have some money. That way you can be the good Samaritan.
You can do things.
If you didn't have money, then you wouldn't be the good Samaritan. You couldn't help anybody.
Man, you can't even love right without money. No. You can forget that. You can't love correctly. But all that's part of
the worst. It was I hate to get religious on everybody, but the other one says he that doesn't take care of his own household is worse than an infidel,
man. You know, so it goes
worse than
So all we're talking about is trying to encourage someone to profit, take advantage
of
for this, because it's not always going to be available, because there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoins, and there's over 16 million right now.
I think you're morally obligated to get as much Bitcoin as you can possibly acquire.
There you go.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying just to lavish yourself with everything in the world for just about you, because it's not all about you. We live in a world with other people, and we have responsibilities, and we have a responsibility to be kind and generous and other things. But you can't be generous unless you got any money.
That's right.
The Bible says be generous. I quit preaching. Excuse me, folks. But
well, I mean, it's just a principle. It's a principle
of giving.
Apply, and if you don't have, you can't give.
That's right. You can be a go-getter, or you can be a go-giver.
There you go.
That's right.
And that's it.
A go-giver.
It's an opportunity. You're either going to see this and you're going to move on it, or you're going to play it off and regret it.
And I wish I'd have done something.
I wish I'd have done something. And so
well, it all begins in education. It really does. And we hope that these videos we're coming to you with are educational and encouraging to do your homework. There's plenty of information out there. There's websites to go to. We all have individual websites you can go on and learn about ways to increase your wealth in Bitcoin. And they're down in the comments. And if you subscribe, or even if you don't subscribe, go down in the comments down there section of this YouTube video and click on some of our websites. You can take advantage of some of those programs. Now, that being said, let's see what Bitcoin is right now. Now, this is the 30th of September. And I'll go on over here to see what we got going on. There's the big board. There we go. Bitcoin. Look at that. 43.30.
There you go.
Yep,
that goes back what we're talking. It was at 2,100 a couple of weeks ago. 2,900 a couple of weeks ago.
And it was put down. Press release economy tactics. Press release economy tactics. You know, the big scare that Bitcoin was going to be. Well, they actually are doing it tomorrow. They say the exchanges will be closed down in China.
Yeah.
Poor China.
They trying to put the hammer down on it. They trying to cage it.
They got the hammer and the sickle down.
Yeah, they trying to shut it down, but it's ubiquitous. You can't. That's the problem. Government finally has ran into something that they can't control, and that's almost one of the hardest things to understand. Is something that you can't control that you used to. You thought you could manipulate. You can't manipulate this. And that's the frustrating thing about it. And so it's going to take a while in certain things for this to kick back. But it's going to go back over 5,000. And everybody be saying, what's going on with Bitcoin again? It's over $5,000.
It's a bubble. The sky is falling.
And it's going to, once it get back over 5,000, it will continue to go. And because at that point,
this is the time to buy.
It's the time to buy. More people are starting to look at it now.
You know, as more people adopt it and it gets more stable and it has a stable growth,
there you go.
It's going to be worth more just because you can count on it.
There you go.
That's not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, we're going to be in this volatile period with
you mean the settle down part?
The settle down part's going to be a while. I project that probably for the next several years, it's going to constantly be doing this up and down, with violent swings up, violent swings down. But the unique thing about it is that the swings, whether they're positive or negative, they're short-lived. So if you have a major downshift, it doesn't mean it's going to be there for the next 2 to 3 years. It's probably going to be there for the next 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be long-term. It's not like the stock market.
It's kind of like the weather. You can count on it changing.
Yeah, it will change. It will change.
It's going to change.
But it's continuing to change upward. So even if it does have downticks, it's still progressively continuing to uptick on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And so, we're going to have hurdles.
And if you're educating the guys, it doesn't matter to you because you know that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's the stock market. We've talked about that before. Stock goes 3 ways. It goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
And everybody, whether they're broker or not, they know that those guys do not panic. Matter of fact, they like sometimes when it does fall because that's an opportunity to buy, and they get a greater return.
Exactly.
So it's the same scenario that we gotta. This is exciting. It's new, it's big, it's huge, and the opportunity to get into it is going to be around for a while.
You know, no one disclaims the fact that the blockchain's not important. Even in that diss that Jamie Dimon did a couple weeks back, and it's still out, on the stump telling people about it. He's dissing Bitcoin.
Right.
But he loves the blockchain.
Better know he does.
You know, he is like you say. They want the dog.
They want the dog without the bark, and
bark.
that's not gonna happen. You gonna get no dog and he won't bark. You know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You can buy a big old dog and think he's not gonna bark. That's part of his character.
That's right.
So when you look at that,
two are at one. And
two or one,
man.
man.
Get rid
one
of
without
Bitcoin.
the other.
Well, you think about that analogy. You know, the only way you can keep a dog from barking is to muzzle
To
it.
the muzzling.
So how do you stop people looking at Bitcoin as a viable alternative or as an altcoin? Is to start criticizing it. Now, if criticizing isn't doing the job in regards to getting people to pull back on it, now you start to demonize it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening.
Wow,
and that happens in politics. You
all
know?
the time.
And then they try to regulate it.
And then
there you go.
They have a hard time
Own and control.
They
can't get their arms around this because it's a mathematical equation.
Exactly.
Right. And it's ambiguous of
any hands.
Time and space.
No human hands
time
can put their hands.
It's out there.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's out there.
It's the one major difference of Bitcoin to all the other altcoins is that Bitcoin really doesn't have any single force manipulating it.
There's no building.
But
There's no
every
CEO.
other coin, every other altcoin that's out there has someone manipulating, someone who started it, someone who's monitoring it, someone who's continuing to push it out into the marketplace. Every other company, every other coin that's out there
attached to a company.
is attached to a company. Bitcoin isn't. So what's the only company that most of the criticism is going after?
Bitcoin.
That's right. It's pure.
Because
it's untouched.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
now, whereas Ripple is attached to the banking industry.
You don't want to have anything to do with that. I bought some Ripple. I bought some Ripple. You won't buy any. You're purist.
I don't know,
but I'm betting on the other horse. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I mean,
I did buy a little Ripple.
that's an option. Just so like in stock, certain people won't buy into certain industries because of their own principles. Just I won't get involved.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know. It's nothing wrong with that. And that's the name of the game. That's the nature of the beast, man. You got options. And this is another thing that we talk about. Bitcoin is an option. We know everybody's not going to do it. That's fine. But it is an option that's available to you that you can. There's opportunity here for you to earn money. The thing is, you can convert Bitcoin back to cash if you want.
Well, that's a big question everybody always asks.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, and you can do it. And one of the wallets that are out there is called Coinbase, and you can sign up on some of our websites directly to Coinbase, and there's a card that operates out of the wallet, the Coinbase wallet. It's the Coinbase wallet has, I think I shared this in the last show, has 4 wallets within one, and you've got Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and USD.
Yeah.
The USD portion, and when you put money back in that wallet from somewhere else, then you can attach a credit card to it, and it's just wonderful to be able to spend your Bitcoin in USD. It automatically calculates.
Now think about it. Now you know you can do that with your stock too, but you gotta wait for it to sell.
Yeah, you got It's not like
right. Am I wrong? You got.
I don't think they have an automatic exchange like that.
So that's what I'm saying. It's competing with the financial industry
as a whole.
As a whole, Walmart. You don't think Wall Street is watching Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency?
Well, the
world?
culture that is beginning to. It was just the show itself. Okay, we're just a small show and hope to grow and get more people involved in this opportunity, but it's a cultural change that's happening.
Sure it is.
I mean, what motivates 4 guys, and one of our guys he has to step out, but 4 guys to come and talk to you about this opportunity every week because they're so jazzed about it. And it's interesting conversation. It's a study in financial structure as well as opportunities and everything else, because it's a cultural change.
It's a culture change. It's also a value change, because
you're talking about pure just the value change.
Because
what's gold? I mean, gold is like at 1,300.
Yeah.
And this is at 4.
Yeah.
Who'd ever thought?
So it's making everybody look
and making everybody scratch their head.
What is Bitcoin? You said, how does it come out past gold, past Apple, practically passed almost any stock that's in the stock market.
Yeah.
Other than Berkshire.
Berkshire. But I think it's taking
all the financial shows talk about Bitcoin.
Yep.
Every last
that
one of them.
That wasn't the story 6 months ago when you and I and Pat got involved in this.
Right.
But they're talking about it.
They're talking about it.
They're talking about it.
I mean, every week.
Every week. What's
show.
this Bitcoin? Because it's coming around the corner. It's bigger. It's bigger. It's bigger. And more companies are starting to look at Bitcoin as well. What's the benefits of this technology that started with Bitcoin? And of course, we all know that all the other industries, IBM, Bank of America.
You know, we talk about this really. We're pretty in depth of what's going on, and if you're new to cryptocurrencies, I just felt like we maybe should just
slow it down.
Slow it down a second. Bitcoin. When we say Bitcoin, what we're talking about is the name of the first cryptocurrency that took hold, and the name has almost been branded. Just like when Kleenex came up with the facial tissue,
or Xerox,
or Xerox came up with the printer.
Yeah.
The name has now, even though it's an off-brand, it might be a Pitney Bowes. They call it a Xerox.
Xerox
this for me. Yeah, and then same with Kleenex. Could you hand me a Kleenex? Right.
Yep.
So Bitcoin has taken front row and centers. First in,
first
captures
out.
the market.
Yep. First in, first out.
Yep. Captures the market there. So that's what we're talking about, talking Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is a part of the 1,130 cryptocurrencies that are out there.
Right.
And the chart we showed you earlier, if you go to the bottom and click on that, it'll show you all
of them.
And most of them aren't worth their salt.
Right.
But what was Carl saying in the last show? 80% of the value in cryptocurrencies is in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, market cap. Most of the market cap of cryptocurrency is in Bitcoin.
Now that's pretty exciting.
That's pretty exciting. So,
and Bitcoins are designed to grow. It started exponentially, but it starts to curve out till about 2020, where then the last Bitcoins will be mined.
There you go.
And there's going to be 22 million Bitcoins.
21 million, they said.
21 million.
Okay,
21 million Bitcoins. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking cryptocurrencies. We use the word Bitcoin. Sometimes we change it back and forth, and it makes it a little confusing. But Bitcoin is just the big daddy of all the cryptocurrencies, and is one of the most exciting ones.
Yeah.
But they all run on what we call that blockchain. That blockchain, and each one of those blockchains that are created to run on, it's a computer algorithm that allows for trust to be and confirmation across the ledger, and
all done at once.
All done in using the internet and miners to confirm. And it's pretty neat, and it's you can't hack it. Now you can hack a server that maybe houses a wallet, and steal Bitcoin. But when it goes from point A to point B across the world, it cannot. It's encrypted and it cannot be stopped. And you can't change the amount in midstream.
No way.
Exactly.
No. So it's a pretty cool technology. I just thought we need to break that down.
Yeah,
We're going to go to a
video.
Yeah, and set that up for us.
Well, this video is about an interview with someone asking this gentleman named Patrick Byrne.
Patrick Byrne.
Yeah, he's the founder and CEO of Overstock.com, and she's asking, was it Marie Bartolola? I know I butchered her last name.
But that's all right.
And she's asking him, Fox Business News. She's asking him about Bitcoin. How do you get paid? How do businesses get paid with Bitcoin? And he explains to her how that happens, and he gives a great, we think, a great scenario and an explanation.
And we busted it up, and we'll have it in the comments down below where you can see the full video. It's about 8 minutes or so. We're going to watch about 6 minutes off and on, and we'll comment in between with it, and kind of give us some things to think about and consider.
Bitcoin, is it a fraud? That is what JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon called the cryptocurrency last week. The comment said Bitcoin price is plunging on Friday after a huge rally in the valuation of it, but it is now back up close to $4,000. Joining me right now is Overstock.com founder and CEO Patrick Byrne. Patrick, always a very creative hat that you wear when you join us. I love that about you. What is this hat telling us?
I just came back from China. Just came back from Red China, where I was speaking on Bitcoin, actually. I was over there the day that they shut down all the exchanges, just on Friday.
Okay. So they are using Bitcoin effectively, you believe, in China, then?
No. In fact, China is taking a position just like Jamie Dimon, where they've come out and said, oh, suddenly they're all afraid of it. You know, what do you know? The guys who run the post office don't like Federal Express. The taxi companies don't like Uber. The guys who belong to this financial world of debt-based fiat money, central banking, Keynesian spending, this magic money tree that they all grew up in, they don't like a form of currency that can't be controlled by a government. What a surprise.
Part of it is that people don't understand it. And Mike Murphy, you said you agree with Jamie Dimon.
I agree to a point. I think that a lot of people investing right now, whether it be in Bitcoin, it's trading Bitcoin or another one of the cryptocurrencies, or trading or investing through an ICO, I think a lot of it is a bubble, and there is some fraud involved with it. I don't know about the underlying technology being a fraud. I think there could be some use there. But, Patrick, I would say you look at a bank like JP Morgan. If the underlying technology has a use, they're a lot bigger than just dollar-based trading. JP Morgan can exist while they use a Bitcoin or a blockchain type technology, right?
Right, of course. And really the key point is the technology under Bitcoin is called the blockchain. First, full disclosure, I happen to know Jamie Dimon. Jamie and my father were friends. My father's dead. Right, but I used to say approvingly, Jamie Dimon's the toughest son of a gun in American business, except he didn't say gun. But so I know Jamie for 20 years. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the underlying technology of Bitcoin is the main event. It's called blockchain, and blockchain is going to be as disruptive to all kinds of institutions like banks as the internet was itself to publishing. So that's really the main event. That usefulness, what gives something money? Is a commodity turns into money when it becomes useful. And this underlying technology of Bitcoin, this thing called blockchain, is extraordinarily useful. And that's here.
You see that? They all agree. The blockchains are extremely.
You're not going to get any articles about somebody saying blockchain's a fraud or blockchain is no good. They all know that the blockchain technology is going to change the world and how transactions are presented and pulled out and watched and looked at, and they know that it's going to remove fraud, which governments want to look into. Most governments are really getting turned on to blockchain because it's going to remove fraud. And one of the biggest problems in most governments, show me a government that spends their money correctly, and I'll go to it.
Exactly.
But we know it don't exist.
Well, it'll probably affect two of the biggest areas. One is government spending toward military.
Right.
Can you imagine how many companies are double billing and
there you go.
You know, for
no
like
more $5,000 hammers.
No $5,000 hammers. That'll be easy to find.
That'll be easy to find, and we'll know where it came from.
And it'll uncover all those hidden places on the ledgers of these large. Can you imagine the size ledgers that just one department of the government has? So it really clean up a lot of waste.
It's going to clean all
that. The other thing is the welfare style stuff.
Oh, all that welfare fraud, all that,
cleaned up.
All that, and that's why taxpayers need to be encouraging government to get involved in blockchain, because you may not have to pay as many taxes, or at least you'll know where your taxes are going.
Well, at least your taxes will do
it's
more.
going to exactly
even
what's supposed to be doing.
Even if we don't reduce taxes, we'll know that the money is there to do more than what it had been done in the past.
The intent the intent is done.
Right.
What you intend for
use that tax dollars for will be done, and there won't be a begging for more, because they actually have some money.
There you go. And if you notice in the interview, the guy was talking about Bitcoin. Well, JP Morgan can survive with with the Bitcoin, but we really want to get past the Bitcoin and go to the blockchain, because we know blockchain is going to be historically a life changing. Yeah, it's going to be a game changer for banking and even for businesses. And so that's the thing that they want to eventually admit to it, but you got to read in between the lines of what they're saying, and you can't. It's like you say, eat fish without the bone. You can't listen to everything that they're saying, because they know, they've done the research. They have somebody. You cannot tell me that Jamie Dimon hasn't had some IT guys sit down in his office and explain to him Bitcoin.
Like his daughter.
They've explained it to him, and they said,
here's
the upside.
Here's
the upside. He didn't get there by not knowing.
Well, I just heard that they'll say, I think in this interview, here's where I heard it, that Jamie Dimon originally was blockchain and Bitcoin. He saw it as the end of the banking
He said
system.
He knew it was coming.
He knew it years ago when it was coming. But now they've put him in as, I guess, the PR guy to...
He's got to push back on it.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. He said, stay away from it. It's bad. Come bring your money back to the bank.
Back to the bank.
And that's basically what it is. Bring it back to the stock market. But I think it's gotten to the point now. At one time you had to go strictly to a broker to buy stock.
That's right. Yep.
But now you can go online.
That's right.
And do it. And so that's changed.
People want freedom.
Oh man, it's autonomy. You can do something, and it's just like Amazon is going to hurt the United States Post Office if they can you can order something on Amazon and get it in an hour.
Oh my.
It's the same thing. It's kind of in the same scenario.
Yeah.
You go online.
Well, they're doing a lot of that right now. They've got warehouses.
There you go.
And they distribute to the warehouses the products they think are going to sell in these regions.
Man, they want drones.
Yeah.
Well,
they
want a drone. Well, I'm just saying, look where they're going. That's where they're going. Yeah. That's where their head is at.
It's all about getting it to you quick. It's going to kill retail business.
It's already starting.
It's already starting.
It's already starting.
But if you don't try and make an adjustment, try and get a website or something to try and get some of that market share, man, you're going to have to close shop.
Well, see, it's 20 years now since the internet really started to get some traction.
Yeah.
Right.
But look how much has changed.
Because of that.
Because of just the internet 1.0.
Right.
This is internet
1.2,
and it's not going to take 20 years to ruin the retail market. To disrupt the retail market. It's not going to take 20 years. Yeah. It's going to take maybe half or less than half, because now we're all computer literate to a certain extent, and we're going to catch on a lot quicker.
Right.
And this 2.0 with blockchain, the time to get in is now. I see a 5-year window max.
If that.
And it's closing every day.
And the tipping point, all the people in the know out there that you read about that really study these things, they say by mid-2018 that adoption rate of enough people shifts and that tipping point happens. It's going to go ape crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's like the analogy. I'm starting to use analogies just because of Marvin.
Marvin,
the dog and the bark.
Hey, man, what can I say, man?
The fish with the bone.
What can I say?
What can I say?
What can I say? It down,
yeah, that's what it's about, though, man.
Everything this guy says, it's got an analogy to it, which is great because it ties everything together.
Yeah.
So, but the whole thing here is just simply understanding that the wave is here.
Yeah.
But the tsunami is coming.
Oh man.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tsunami is coming. The wave has already started. Okay. There's surfers out there right now riding a wave.
And they're wave.
But the tsunami,
which
is going to devastate everything in terms of disruption.
I used to surf. That's a good analogy.
Okay. So, but I get all that. I'm starting to get these analogies because of Marvin.
But here's another one, guys. Just think about it. The Bitcoin is not a destroyer. It's a disruptor.
Right.
And now that's a good thing to think.
They're trying to make it seem like
it's going to be a destroyer for those who want to hold on to the old
that's
world.
What I'm saying. But ultimately the intent is to disrupt. It's shaking trees and stuff is going to fall off that shouldn't be there. And if your stuff is not where it should be, man, you're going to fall out of this, and you're not going to be able to make that adjustment.
Well, even forest fires, when they go through, what happened? You ever seen a place
Yeah.
after the forest fire went through a few months back? All of a sudden, everything's all green again.
It's purge. It's going to purge.
It purges.
It's
yeah.
purges.
Exactly.
And we know one of the biggest problems of the internet is fraud. Ask Equifax.
Bring that up.
Ask Visa.
Well, you know,
It's
on the
centralized.
crypto, I have, as a matter of fact, I just posted an article on that CEO who
Yeah.
retired. With
He
Equifax.
never said it was at fault or anything.
Yeah, our CryptoCrew Twitter. I posted an article about that. Yeah, they're going to come get him.
Did he jump? So he jumped off the boat.
He jumped off.
He didn't
the
went
boat.
down. He didn't go down with the ship.
He didn't go down.
He didn't go down with the ship.
He's
He
not
jumped
a very
off.
good captain.
Yeah, he jumped off because it's
And
a
you know
hard
what?
thing
We
to explain
entrust
that.
all of our personal information with a guy like that.
Well, they told you
about
can
it.
trust us.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Remember they saying? He said you can trust us with your credit history.
Exactly.
All your financial transactions, buying a house, credit card, school loans, all that information.
Yeah, your credit worthiness.
Your
is
financial
good with us.
lifestyle is shown, and now it's been exposed.
Exactly. Exactly.
And he's gone.
See, we need cryptocurrency.
There you go.
I mean, blockchain technology
There you go.
involved in all of this stuff to keep the encrypted information where it needs to be
There you
private.
go.
Right. Exactly.
That's it. And I think that you should have secrets.
Sure.
You shouldn't all your personal life, your financial stuff and
Shouldn't
stuff like
be
that.
in the hands
Shouldn't
of
be in
a
the
bunch
hands
of,
of anybody to be able to access it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so all that stuff, and a lot of times you don't even know, even though they call it what you get hit on your credit and all that kind of. That's a whole other subject.
Subject, yeah.
But the blockchain and how it's going to affect businesses, business owners should be listening to, and I think that's going to be an opportunity for some people because of this innovation. Companies are going to come out of this that are going to show other companies how to go to the blockchain. They're going to be businesses. People will become millionaires through this because they're going to start a business and go to business and show them the benefit of doing blockchain.
Absolutely.
Well, we
gonna
mentioned it a show ago where there's now a company that is a company that helps salespeople with their leads. And they're going to use blockchain to confirm the leads that they give them, that all the addresses are correct, because it's a technology that confirms whether they're true or they're incorrect. And the technology can do that with the emails and attach those emails to those addresses. And and so that when someone purchases, and you guys know in business, when you purchase an email list or an address list, there's so many incorrect things.
Absolutely.
And if they had the blockchain to confirm it all out,
right,
boom,
all that, and it's go. Also,
so that's just one little industry
of
selling, marketing information that's going to be affected by the blockchain.
Real estate, agriculture. Man, it's going to affect anything.
Shipping's another one. Now,
and all that.
You know, one of the biggest problems is the bills of lading that land in New York or any San Francisco, these big ships that come from overseas. Not that bill of landing matching up with what actually left in across the world. Yeah, those canisters all have something in them that fit the bill of lading. Well, they have the technology with this blockchain ledger technology that'll all be cleared up. There won't be no discrepancy.
Man.
Now that's funny that you said it because there's also an opportunity that you got a lot of people who don't even understand blockchain that have to be trained for. So that's going to be another aspect or industry that's going to be created because you're going to have
technicians.
People. You're going to have all people they're going to have to get educated. And this kind of ties into what we talk about. An education is a skill set that attracts wealth to you.
Right.
So this is going to make some people wealthier because they're going to have their skill set to explain blockchain.
Well, there may be a person out there that is in maybe a blue-collar job, that amount of education for just a blue-collar style job, maybe it's just a labor job out there that you are in right now. But it only brings you a certain amount of income because of that.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Well, if you get this and you got excited about knowing about this and you start to pour yourself into this because you're excited, you're on the forefront of a thing that's going to change the world.
Right.
It's not like anybody can send you to college about this stuff.
That's right. You don't have to.
Don't have to. But you will have a college PhD degree in the next few years just from being involved in it, that you'll be valuable to large corporations.
They'll sit down and listen. You say, if just like we got another video, if we could go to Amazon and show them how they can save $1 billion.
Well, the stockholders, if you don't go save $1 billion, that means they're not
there
getting
you go.
A dividend.
And you know, we kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but if you can
he
show
talks
that,
about it.
he talks about that.
Yeah, he talks about it. We're going to go ahead and run the second part of this interview, and we will do that right now.
But
and that's here to stay.
Explain how you actually get paid. I mean, just to reiterate what Jamie Dimon said, Patrick, quote, "It's worse than tulip bulbs. It won't end well. Somebody is going to get killed. It's just not a real thing. Eventually it will be closed," Dimon said. And he even said, anybody trading Bitcoins at JP Morgan is going to be fired for just being stupid. That's what he said. Patrick.
Well, remember that a year and a half ago, Jamie Dimon wrote a letter to shareholders saying this is going to come eat our lunch. He was scared to death of it. I think what they thought was that they could get in front of it, and they're realizing they can't get in front of it. It's not you know, how high can Bitcoin go? The real question is, how low can the dollar go? How low can all this fiat? I'll put it this way. I'd love to debate the metaphysical status of this thing, Bitcoin, that comes out of thin air. With a couple years ago, Janet Yellen was creating 85 billion new something every month. I think they called them
dollars.
85 billion per month.
Yeah.
Not for the year. Per month. Not for
and it's just a piece of paper.
Out of thin air, man. They just print it out.
So they say, you know, Bitcoin comes out of thin air.
No, it doesn't.
No.
No, it doesn't. And that's the frustrating thing, because like you said too, Gary, man, most people believe what they hear immediately on television. Hadn't done any due diligence.
No, they have no idea.
Yeah, they don't have any idea. And a lot of times when you become educated about certain things, you don't shift as fast because you kind of understand, and you don't go into panic mode as fast as someone else who doesn't understand it at all. What they said there, he didn't even he rebutted it. He pushed back on it. He says, well, you talking about Bitcoin is fraud. He said, well, Bitcoin is not producing 85 billion Bitcoins in a month. Oh, excuse me, was that a month? $85 billion in a month? Mm-hmm. Well, we know 85 billion Bitcoins. Well, you can't even do that.
Well, it's inflationary.
Yeah.
When you take dollars and do that, and you print out more dollars, it just makes it inflation. It just feeds inflation.
The dollar loses its value.
Right.
As well.
It's diluted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like taking lemonade that's
and pouring all the water in it.
A bunch of water in it. And who wants nasty old lemonade that tastes like half
because
water?
You know what you did? You didn't follow instructions.
Yeah.
You went beyond. you went beyond.
They didn't follow the good instructions of good monetary policy.
Exactly, and that's what's going on. So you've diluted the thing that's supposed to be bringing value and supposed to enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's basically what's going on. But Bitcoin can't do that. Now
we're catching, like you said, Patrick, the wave. I know I told you I used to be a surfer, and what you do, surfing, you paddle out and you sit on your board, flip around, look over your shoulder, looking for the next wave.
Right.
And you'd watch that horizon come up, you know. Mm-hmm. And once you saw that horizon come, you knew a swell was coming in. And then you'd have to pick your swell, and you'd actually time them because the waves had a pattern to them. Okay, they had a pattern to them. Your first one was quite as big. The next one, you know, was a little bit bigger, and you get the third one. I'm going to take the third swell.
There you go.
Okay, so and they're always different, but you get to know what the pattern is that day.
Okay,
and then you swing around, and then what you got to do is you got to paddle like the dickens to get that wave. You're going, and that because that wave is moving on. It doesn't care about you. You're just on a little board, and you try to get it to lift you up. And when you start catching its inertia, then you jump on it and surf. So it's catching the wave, and that's what we have to do.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
We got to pick this. You got to get it now. Okay,
Exactly.
this wave is going to pass up. Now, if you went and chose you didn't learn the count when you're out there surfing, what happens is you get those 3 swells or 4 swells, whatever they're going to be, then they die down for a while. So if you're going to sit around your board and wait around for a shark to bite you on the foot, you know?
Yeah.
So you sit there and dangling your legs in the water.
There's a price to pay, man.
When you're surfing, that's what you're thinking.
There's
you're
a price to pay.
Looking for you got your legs sticking down there. When you're on the board, you're not as scared of having a shark eat you. But anyhow, but you have to wait for that next wave.
Right.
Well, if you missed that wave for the internet 20 years ago,
it's a price to pay, man.
You do have a new wave coming.
Exactly.
So you've been getting your feet bit by the sharks for the last 20 years because you didn't get a hold of that wave.
Exactly.
This is the wave to get involved with. I know that's being like you, being a. I'm painting a picture with a story.
In this scenario, though, the sharks are all the negative commentaries that are coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, they're the ones that are nibbling at your feet. They're the ones trying to keep you from getting on to this next wave that's coming.
Scare you into no action. What happens when you get scared? You freeze.
Exactly, man.
You don't do nothing.
Yep, you do absolutely nothing. And so that's what they're trying to continue to subconsciously, even on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, to get you to a point to where you do nothing. Consciously, you're listening. You come onto the show, you listen to the show, and you're hearing all the information. Oh, that sounds really good. And a day or two later, you hear somebody saying, well, this is of that dark web, and, it's really going to burst, it's going to bubble. Those are sharks. Those are the sharks.
Your feet, yeah.
And so subconsciously, you're hearing all that, and you're starting to say, I might want to wait a little while longer. I'll keep listening to these guys, but I may want to wait another couple more months, maybe 5 or 6 months. And all along, that wave is coming, and you're still sitting there.
And it's still chugging along,
you know what?
man.
If you start to catch the wave and you didn't start pedaling fast enough, you'll miss it.
You'll miss it.
So you've got to see it out there and start getting running with it.
Yeah, well, this show is a call to action. We can sit back. You can go to school and sit back and listen to the instruction, but you didn't do the homework. You didn't take the test.
Well, there isn't even any school for this.
You're gonna flunk.
Yeah.
You're gonna flunk, man. You're gonna get thrown out. It's a call to action. Eventually, you're getting all this information and you do nothing. It's like a farmer that gets all the seed in the store and never plants it.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's not getting anything in return. Exactly. And then he's going to start hanging out with other farmers. He can't hang out with other farmers because the other farmers are going to start telling the stories of what they're getting out of a production from their seed.
That's right.
But if you don't do anything, you got a truckload of seed and you're not doing anything with it, waiting for it to grow, it's not going to grow. It's not going. Nothing's going to happen. So we encourage you to listen. We want you to listen, but the bottom line is we want you to do.
Amen.
We want you to get involved and take $50, take $100, and go into buying Bitcoin or the cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, Ripple,
Monero,
yeah,
fair balance.
Go. You gotta do something, everybody. You gotta do something, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta start. You can't get in shape if you don't exercise.
Exactly.
You can buy all the weights and all that stuff, but if you don't get out and start exercising, man, nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing happens.
Till you do something.
You gotta do something.
That's
right.
Let's listen to the third part of this. We're starting to. Woo! Look how long we've been on here.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, hang with us. We're going to wrap up after this.
At least this Bitcoin stuff is governed by the laws of mathematics and how much it gets created. No one governs these government mandarins when they whisk new dollars into existence.
Governed by the law of mathematics.
Yeah, Patrick, Amy Holmes here. Let me just jump in. You just said Bitcoin comes out of thin air, which is, I think, what scares a lot of people. And when you look at dollars, it has printed right on there. The full faith and credit of the United States government is behind it. So here's my question. You say that Bitcoin is useful. Then why aren't more people using it?
Well, first, to your first point, the dollar is backed by the taxing authority of the full faith and credit of the U.S. Treasury. How much excess taxing authority do we think they have? They've got zero excess taxing authority, which is why we're running huge deficits. So it's really backed by nothing more than our belief in it. It's coming out of thin air, and it's ungoverned. These government mandarins can create all of it they want. They created $4.5 trillion of it in the last 8 years. Bitcoin, its creation is governed by, it's coming into an existence at a predefined rate. In fact, there are monetary theorists like Taylor down at Stanford, not far from here, who've been, and Milton Friedman, my God, who were saying, you know, for years we should have an instrument that comes into existence. The Federal Reserve should create it at a very fixed rate and not try to fine-tune the economy by managing it. What you have in Bitcoin is a form of money that comes into existence at a very fixed rate, governed by mathematical principles.
And it's not really Bitcoin that is the underlying. The underlying technology, as you said a moment ago, is blockchain.
Right.
And you were speaking at that summit, the blockchain summit in China.
Correct. And what people are realizing is that with blockchain, you can take out about 90% of the back office costs of all kinds of mechanisms in banks and stock markets and such. That's why Overstock has been sort of pioneering the application of blockchain to Wall Street. You can not only take out the costs, but you can create a version of Wall Street where no one can cheat. All kinds of mischief that goes on Wall Street can't be done in a version of Wall Street that's recreated on the blockchain. And what we have seen, and this is what I think scares Wall Street so much, what we've seen in the last 10 years, anyone who's awake, has seen that these banks have found ways to buy themselves regulators, buy themselves congressmen and senators and maybe judges and who knows what.
Patrick,
maybe,
one
but
last...
they can't buy the law.
Well, there you go. That's some pretty powerful interview right there. This guy understands business.
That's
Overstock. You know, I mean, he's got to be quite a retailer and quite a businessman to come up with a website years after Amazon got started, and create such a large online store.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Overstock.com is really not a tiny company. It's getting bigger and bigger all the time. And he's smart because what he's doing, he's taking, all right, I'm going to catch this wave. I'm going to catch this wave.
I'm going to be in front of it.
I'm going to be in front of it, and I'm going to put in the ability to buy with Bitcoin because in a few years, it's going to be adopted. That tipping point's going to happen.
Boom.
And you know what? If Amazon doesn't watch it, he's going to sneak up and bite him in the rump.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. Yep. And it kind of goes back. He said the back office will be eliminated.
Well, he'll have more money to
Exactly.
spend in marketing because he's not spending it on
transaction
fees.
Yep.
With the the old-fashioned
it's
credit
a merchant
card
account. You can't even make any money. I mean, you got to, as far as a business owner, you got to have a banking account.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you get your income coming in and out. Your transactions are done that way. But remember, with the Bitcoin and blockchain,
a very small transaction fee.
Your transactions done there. It's done in 30 seconds.
The transaction fee comes from only two areas. One is from the mining of the coin.
Yeah.
And the other is from the exchange itself. And because it is automated and it doesn't take a big back office with hundreds and thousands of people to run it and verify it, it's cheap.
There's no paperwork.
There's no paperwork.
No paperwork. You got to wait and put it on hold. You know how they put the money on hold, and then they got to get the paperwork from the bank. The banks are communicating at night to get all your routing number and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All that's removed. So
it's
as
slick.
a business owner, you're saving money. You're saving 3%. Now, 3% is huge.
Well, some cards are 5%. I hate it when somebody pulls out American Express.
Well, let's think about it. Like a company like Coke, which is huge. When they say 5%, that could be $1 billion for them.
Well, as a matter of fact,
right? Am I right?
The bigger the company,
man,
the bigger the company, the more it cost it takes to get your product to market. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you and I started a bottling company, okay, the three of us started a bottling company, and we made some great drink, and we were going up against, Coca-Cola there, but our overhead was low.
Right.
So we could compete in price with Coca-Cola easily because our overhead, we're not such a large international company with all these holes that money can get wasted in, and all of that, right? Right? We got pretty good control of it, so we can bring our price down and kill the competition.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now, some of these mega companies only work on a small margin. Man. You don't need a big margin.
That's right.
When you got that much money churning.
That's
right.
So to make your stockholders happy, and to pay these CEOs with the money they make, my gosh, but to pay their big salaries, it doesn't take a big percentage of the entire thing that's going on.
Exactly.
But it can also benefit your 401k because your company can profit share more.
Right.
Because they've cut some of the costs.
What I'm talking about is that percentage, though.
Yeah.
That small percentage they're making. You come in on top of that small percentage you're making, 5%. If everybody started using American Express to buy Coca-Cola, you'd go broke.
Right.
Think about it, because that 5% would get sucked up. Now, of course, not everybody's going to use American Express. It's not going to be 5%. But it's part of that equation.
Right.
It's part of that equation. And if you were a stockholder of Coca-Cola or any, let's say, where they do use credit cards a lot, Amazon, and one of the guys at the board meeting raises his hand and says, "Why are we using Bitcoin? I understand people are making more dividends from overstock.com.
Are you telling me you don't want to save $1 billion?
Exactly.
Explain that to you.
Explain that to your stockholders.
At the board. You can't explain that. That's
what's
crazy.
going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
Be part of the push.
You better know
it. Be part of the push.
And that's why companies like Bank of America are putting in patents for blockchain because they want to get in.
Yeah, we were on that a few weeks back when we reported on that, where Bank of America had, what was it? It was in the teens, wasn't it?
17 that particular time. But you got Credit Suisse is going blockchain, Barclays is going blockchain, and there's going to be a few other banks this year.
Each one of those recipes that they create for certain purposes can be individual and uniquely patented.
There you go.
And that's why as soon as they come up with a formula or a recipe using the blockchain, they go and patent it.
There you go. So certain industries are going to start waking up.
And they don't want you to go patent
it.
Because you might come up with an idea on how to use the blockchain and go to somebody that knows how to write code and hire them to write your code and go down to the patent office and put that in there.
But that is going to happen. It's going to happen.
Pay you a royalty.
That's right. It's going to happen. Some people are going to get educated in this, and they're going to start going to the industry. They're going to start companies, and they're going to be experts in blockchain, and they'll be able to go and cater.
There's a lot of creative people in the world. There's a lot of creative people. Creativity, there's no corner
there's
on
no
creativity.
end to it.
Exactly.
There's no corner on creativity. I'm a big believer that creativity is inspiration.
Yep.
Inspiration, I believe, comes from upstairs.
Yep.
So, it's kind of like blockchain or Bitcoin.
Yep.
You cannot control God.
You cannot control
God can give people creative ideas to whoever they are. They could be a poor person, a rich person, a red person, a black person.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Somebody's going to look at this.
That's right. But
technology.
as long as they know, as long as these guys are in the big bankers and the guys that got the money, they understand this whole dynamic you and I are talking about right now, and they know they got to keep the waves pushed back.
Well, he said that in a video, so that a month ago or so, Jamie Dimon was saying Bitcoin is going to clear our clock.
Yeah, clean our clock.
Yeah, it's going to go down for real on it. This thing is going to take us out, and he already knows. But as he said, he can only speak that behind closed doors.
That's right. Now he's going to push back.
He's got to push back.
And they all are going to push back because they don't want the regular guy
to catch it.
Regular guys like us to catch this understanding and think, I'm in the insurance business and I do this, or I'm in the advertising business, and I could come up with a way that using a blockchain to confirm what we've always had to depend on somebody else for.
HIPAA laws and all that kind of stuff.
Whatever it is.
It's all going to be affected. Real estate, it's all going to be affected, man.
And what will happen is, you'll say, I'm not a programmer, but I know a smart kid who is.
Yep.
Let's get into this Bitcoin technology. Let's figure it out and come up with and then let's patent it. And then you can get a royalty.
Well, the young guy who developed Ethereum out of Canada, I think he was 18.
Really?
18 years old. His name is, I forgot his name, but he developed Ethereum.
Wow.
Which is the second
most successful
Bitcoin.
Sure.
But he developed Ethereum.
Or cryptocurrency.
Yeah, the cryptocurrency. And that's the kind of stuff that's going to go on, man. And we can't remember, Bill Gates started Microsoft in the garage. So all those kind of things are going to happen, man, when innovation comes out. Like you said, you can't stump innovation. Some young guy or some young lady somewhere is catching on to this, and they're going into their room and they're studying this stuff day in and day out. We know that young guy that was 18, he bought $12 worth of Bitcoin. He's a multi-millionaire today. So it's already starting to happen, man. And you're going to have people who are going to study this stuff day and night, and ideals and concepts are going to come on them, and they're going to change the world with this stuff.
Exactly.
That's right. And we can all, at our level and what we're doing, benefit from it, but you got to know how it's working.
Got to know how it works, man.
You got to study it somewhat. And we're going to study it on the financial end and on the investment side of it. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And some people would be on the development and research side of it.
Right.
Research and development side. But it's just according to how your mind works.
Yeah.
But you can still plug in this however your mind works and benefit from it.
Exactly.
We've run out of time, guys.
Once again,
we enjoy it. This is so
awesome.
fun.
It's absolutely awesome.
I appreciate both of you guys, and we're gonna be back here next Saturday with another show. The information we get is new
share
every week.
Yeah.
It's just we study this stuff during the week, and then we can share it with you guys, and hopefully you start sharing back what you found out as well.
Exactly.
It's enormous, man. It's a game changer. It's going to affect the world.
Remember to subscribe. Remember to subscribe. Look down below. You can get in contact with us either through the comments or from the more information section down below the video. And we will talk to you next week.
Next week.
That works.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week.